I am live. What is going on, YouTube? This is Captain Calhoun speaking. You are on the lifeboat. Happy Wednesday. Oh, we probably want this, don't we? Oh, would you look at my face? Good morning. How's everyone this morning, huh? Nicola E., good morning. Rick Smith, Robin Miners, Teresa, Dee Dee Razzle Dazzle, Shannon Smith, hello, hello. Good to see all of you on this fine Wednesday. And Lacey Silver. What's going on, y'all? What is going on? I was talking with my pops again this morning. We started talking about expectations, and expectations can be a fickle mistress, I have to say. Positive expectations, well, expectations can shape your reality, or how you expect things to play out can shape how things play out, if that makes sense. And positive expectations can, lead to further efforts and diligence, as negative expectations can lead to self-fulfilling prophecies. So I think this is a good topic. We're going to have some fun today talking about expectations. And somehow we're going to get through the whole thing without using the old adage, expectations are a bee. Somehow I'm going to get that done. But anyways, Candy's Life, good to see you. Tina Marie, hello, hello. Expectations can be disappointing, Shannon. That's right. That is correct. But if our expectations are adaptable and aligned with reality, there should be no worries. The closer we can get our expectations to reality, the better off we're going to be. Because I think what happens with the negative expectations, I think when things play out so wildly different than we expected, it can be cataclysmic. And having high expectations is like a good thing because you're setting the bar high, but then maybe you don't hit that mark, and it can be quite devastating. So allowing your expectations to be adaptable in the moment is going to be a big deal. It's going to be a big deal. Scooby Lee, Mocked, hello, hello. TKK, good to see you. Be lurking today. All right. Cozy evening. I do love a good cozy evening. This is my first glass of coffee. Maybe before I make it hotter again, I should drink more of this stuff. Nicola E says, I know my own trouble is often that I overcommit and can't live up to my own expectations on myself. You and me both, for sure. That's definitely one of my superpowers. I feel like all the stuff that I've learned and I'm like constantly enacting are these juggling balls of life that I, have in my juggling act of life. And when usually my default setting is like, all right, let's run right at it and we'll get it. Let's just run right through the door recklessly and right towards what we're shooting for. So with that mentality, I'll do a bunch of things at once. I'll try to take on a bunch of new stuff at once, and then I'll drop some balls that I've had in rotation forever. Something very simple, probably, but quite impactful. So I can definitely relate with that sentiment, Nicola. I can definitely relate with that sentiment. And the answer for me with that has been to not do so many things at once, just to do baby steps, right? If I'm going to do something new, if I'm going to add something new to the routine, if I'm going to have a shift, in my regular behavior, it's got to be one thing at a time, small shifts. That way I don't drop, that way I don't screw up the stuff I've got in rotation already. Shannon says, I have too many balls in the air. I can't handle all of them. Well, you got to drop a couple and then you can get them back in later, right? The thing is, you can control which balls you drop if you drop them on purpose. But if you just try to keep everything in the air as best you can and it's too much, you'll drop balls that you don't intend to, and that's less controllable, right? I mean, to each their own, but I would definitely prefer to drop balls that I've picked. Like, all right, this is going to be the least impactful. I'll get you back in the air pretty soon, as soon as we can. That's how I would handle that, Shannon. I don't know what the impact of the said balls are falling, but those are the kind of things that I would consider in such a situation. Jen, Aunt Hobbs, good to see you. Good morning. No face. I don't think I've ever said hello to you, but hello. No Face opens one eye and wonders if he should get up. Well, I guess that's No Face's prerogative. Well, Scoob, do you spend time alone often? Scooby says, I'm alone for most of today, possibly tomorrow some too. It might be a nice opportunity that you don't normally get. Try to flip the script on it for you, you know? Many times, my unmatched expectations, says Teresa, are direct feedback to me to reevaluate my communication prior to the situation to see how much I have contributed to it. And I think that is a great practice. I think that is a great practice of not guess and check, of evaluating. And if we're not checking ourselves, no one's checking us. You know what I mean? If we're not checking ourselves, it's likely that if someone did check us, we would blow it off. So I think it's entirely necessary that we check ourselves. Not after 5 p.m. And no, I don't like being alone. Well, I could tell. I could tell you don't like being alone. Um, which there's probably good reason for that, but I think it might be um, somewhat of an exercise, to spend some time alone and then like do something that you love doing in that time. Just a thought. You don't have to do anything, Scoob. Just a thought that I had. Take it how you will. I know it can be uncomfortable. I was forced to be alone for a really long time, so I look at it differently now. I'm on like the other side of all that. I definitely used to be just like that, like not liking being alone. But I was forced to spend so much time alone. I got really, really used to it, and it was good for me. I think I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about what I like, what I don't like, what I'm willing to put up with, and what I'm not in my space as well as outside it. So just thought. Scooby Lee says, I'm writing while alone and I want to draw, but I want a sketchbook. Summon the sketchbook, Jeeves, get Scooby the sketch. Nicholas says, I really struggle if I don't get enough alone time. I definitely am that way now. I wasn't before, or maybe I was and didn't realize it, huh? Who knows? Izzy, Ian, glad you could join us. Good morning. Candy sounds so delicious. I picked up a soda habit. I've never really had a soda habit ever since the wrestling team. I quit drinking soda. That was like, how was that? I was still a boy, and I have picked up a soda habit. It's not the worst thing I could pick up, but man, maybe I'll get lucky and it'll help me gain some weight, or maybe I won't be lucky and it'll just like screw with my health in other ways. Who knows? Expectations. Expectations in a relationship play a crucial role in satisfaction and conflict. Unrealistic or unmet expectations can lead to disappointment and tension, while clear and realistic expectations can foster understanding and trust. There's a huge difference between good expectations and bad expectations. And when I say good and bad, I just mean like realistic and unrealistic. Expectations that are going to let you down and expectations that are not going to let you down. They play a crucial role in interpersonal stuff and often are formed by society. That can shape reality by influencing behaviors and decisions. Expectations are something that we all have and often probably subconsciously create. Lisa Trimble says, comment have to suffer in silence today, but please, I need the ones. Let's put the ones up there for Lisa. I hope you find some serenity today, Lisa. I definitely will keep you in my thoughts and on my heart today. Izzy E says, today I passed the 24-hour mark nicotine free. Oh my. Now I'm so jealous. I better get my button gear. Dude, that is so cool. 24 hours is the hardest bit. The next couple days are no walk in the park, but I mean the first 3 days and the first week are like two different forms of evil, I think. But after you get through those, it's sweet. It's smooth sailing, from what I understand. I have gotten through that portion a few times, but I'm so far removed. It's hard to remember what it feels like. I remember quitting cigarettes being very, very difficult and like being super grumpy and like snapping at people that I loved. And I also remember other times it being effortless almost. So it is a mystery still to me. I think it's a lot to do with your mind state and your perspective. And sometimes I think I'm in a strong headspace, and sometimes I'm in a weak headspace, and I think that's the difference there in my memory. But the point is that you're through the first day. Managing my expectations of the first 72 hours is helping me go through what is a real sucky day. It's going to suck until it doesn't. Well, I mean, you're well on the way. You are down the road at this point. To turn back would be folly. And I'm pretty sure you've got this. I believe in you. That's for damn sure. And I'm sure you believe in yourself. You've got it. Was aiming for Friday, but ran out of cigars early and figured, whatever, it's going to suck now. I'll be done faster. That's right. You get it behind you. One thing that I definitely like to do is if there's something that I have to do that I don't want to do, if there's something that I have to do that sucks, I like to do it immediately and get it done with. I like to get it out of the way, run right at it. That's my go-to. Directly at it. Ow, that was hot again. Sharon Dixon, Kevin Hawthorne, hello, hello. Janine Hobbs, mocked. What's going on? I live for now. I keep feeling like I'm on the cusp of like a little ear, nose, throat sickness. I keep feeling like I have stuff back there, but it's like not quite. I wonder what's going on. I wonder, maybe it's just allergies. Body illusion, hello. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Beta, beta. Millie the Dandelion, so happy you joined us. All right. I totally have things to say about expectations, I swear. Different cultures have varying expectations regarding behavior, success, and roles, which can affect individuals' goals and interactions. So, what that means is wherever you are in the world, wherever you grew up, whatever culture you grew up in, is they're going to have different expectations, societal expectations. You're going to be expected to act, move, talk, be a different way. Like, for example, in my family, we were expected to not like the Eagles football team, and we were expected to be fans of the Giants. And also, we were expected to protect and defend women and stand up for women that are not standing up for themselves. So, that's an example that's close to my heart. But y'all have your own cultural upbringing. Y'all have your own societal expectations that might be very similar to mine. They might be identical. They might be completely different. But the point is to manage them properly. If we manage them properly, we don't have to be so let down that it changes everything that's going on in our world. It doesn't have to be a cataclysm. It can just be a slight shift, in how we're moving right now and what we're going to expect next time. We are expected to love the Bills and hate the Patriots and the Cowboys, says Scooby. Sounds like a family very similar to mine. We're also Patriot fans, but I haven't followed football since becoming. I guess I followed football a little bit in my 20s, but pretty much since I became a legal adult, I stopped following. And after Papa Scoville passed, it definitely became much, much, much less important. That was something that we used to do together. Rest his heart. Love you, Papa. Papa Moose, you're the man. Hey, Flick Fox, I'm glad you said hey. I wouldn't have known you were here. Although, I do, half the time I assume the people I don't see are just lurking. Um, who knows? You never know. Everyone is, like, we're all at a unique place every day. Every day is different. Every day is unique. Every day we get off on a unique side of the bed. So I have no idea what's going on in each and every one of y'all's worlds. So if you're not saying anything, I assume there's a good reason, and I just, let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Used to have very high expectations, says Sharon Dixon, disguised as positivity. I struggled so much with disappointment for many years. Yes, 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 yes. I think this is also tied to the self worth thing. I have struggled with self worth as well, um, as well as struggling with high expectations. I definitely hold myself up to a high standard, but I think that's because people have held me to a high standard growing up. But who knows? Who knows? Disguised as positivity. It's interesting how we twist things for ourselves. It's curious. And I don't know if this necessarily is that situation, but it does remind me of one of my favorite adages, and that is the lies that we tell ourselves are the hardest to see through. Um, I know my brain is crafty and it likes to switch things around to fit my narrative better. I'll have to watch that because sometimes it can do more damage than harm. What's going on? Can't think of a better name. Good to see ya. Candy and Scoop, I was diagnosed with bipolar when I was, I want to say like 14, 13, 14, something like that. And I never believed it. I always thought that the doctor was a disgusting example of human decency, human indecency, more like. But that was just my opinion of the man, and I didn't allow myself to like absorb any information or So basically, because of the way that I handled that situation, I now don't know if I'm bipolar or not. I certainly seem to go through waves, but when I hear you and Candy talk about and other people talk about you're bipolar, it definitely doesn't seem like what I have. So I guess I just wanted to say that out loud. There's always been a question in the back of my mind, like, am I bipolar? Maybe I just have a different version of it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not at all. And I just feel the waves really hard. I don't know. I don't know. But hearing y'all talk about bipolar is always very curious to me because I'm always curious if that's something that I have or not. I have way too many eyelashes. I tell you what, they always get stuck in my eye one at a time. Just one at a time. You can look at the mirror and see what you want, but when you turn around, that mirror is still looking back. Let's go. Hell yeah, No Face. I like that a lot. I'm glad No Face decided to get up and hang out. Thanks for joining us, yo. That's pretty sweet. I like that a lot. Perfectionism is a trauma response, says Nicola E. Going to journal on that one. Me too. I might just learn a little bit about myself off that little nugget. I'm looking for a comment that I half read a second ago. Oh my lord, that's itchy. Oh, the hardest bit for many is high expectations of ourselves, like perfectionism high. I'll never not say it. Perfectionism is a trauma response. Hugs to all the recovering achievers with low self-esteem. Whoa. Sweet deal, Izzy. I think I have already done some journaling in my head right there. That's part of it. That's a section right there. Yeah, Scoop, sometimes a nap is necessary for me too, I have to say. Things just become quite overwhelming, and I'm like, well, I'm going to turn the lights off for a sec. I'll be back. I'm just going to go be calm. Just a hot and sweaty sick flick today. Oh, I'm sorry. That's gotta suck. Speaking of, I don't think that I had the air on last night. I'm pretty sweaty myself. Do we have anything else on this topic? Oh yeah. So we said we talked about managing expectations and adjusting them to align with reality, right? Well, regular reflection, we also touched this briefly, but regular reflection and communication can help ensure that these expectations are realistic and, again, adaptable, right? Reducing potential frustrations and enhancing personal and relational well being. I don't like the words that they use sometimes, but reducing potential frustration and enhancing the potential positive outcomes. That's what I would have said. Please hold. I'm listening to an oldie but a goodie today. When I was a freshman in high school, or I want to say like eighth grade or something, my mom bought me this album on CD. She bought me a CD back in the CD days. She bought me a City of Evil by Avenged Sevenfold. And, at the time, I was pretty into it. And haven't really been listening to a whole lot of that band very recently, but they came on my shuffle the other day, this particular album, and I just was filled with so much gratitude for my mother getting me this random album. She had no idea. She basically introduced me to Avenged Sevenfold, and it's just so grateful. Such a good album, and it's the one where he like sings and stuff. He like stopped screaming, which at the time wasn't my favorite thing, but to this day, it's a classic album. Classic. Cooking with the grandma. What is going on? Shannon, I did not look yet. I didn't get in there at all yesterday, so I might be a little bit behind. I will do that right after this and expect an email back from me this morning. I don't know what time it is for you, but it's 8 a.m. for me, so this morning, like that. It's a good album, Izzy. Which one was that? I was just listening to, I believe, Sidewinder with the. I don't know if it's just unplugged or if he's got like a mandolin at the end, but such a good part. Such a good part. It sounds like a friggin' mandolin to me. I'm gonna put it on again. It is Sidewinder. Maybe not. Maybe it's an electric guitar unplugged. Who knows? I've seen electric mandolins and electric violins. It's possible. They do stuff like that. Okay, I'm gonna scroll up. All that time I took it talking about that, I've gotten behind. Yeah, it's got to be an electric guitar because they're doing both the rhythm and the lead are going back and forth. It's got to be just their guitars. I guess it doesn't have to be. To switch right there in the middle of the song, though, would be pretty brutal. I don't think that that's what they do. Mock says first thing our parents did was teach us how to differentiate between senseless expectations and appropriate ones, and to teach us to deal with disappointment and adapting to possibilities. Sounds like your parents had really good heads on their shoulders, yo. That's pretty. That's some serious foresight there from your parents, and that's awesome. That's really really good. I have to say, what a foundation to have. Beta says, I used to have high expectations towards others and felt good around strong personalities. My therapist said, no one knows how much it takes for those strong persons to be like that. Whoa, interesting. That's right. They probably went through quite a bit of hardship to be that way. They were probably hardened and tempered by the world, by their path. Like that one show we did recently, Temperance of the Soul or whatever, Tempered by the World. I can't remember what I called it. They probably became strong by being beaten down continuously. And maybe it's not a probably, but it's a possibly. I miss Ben too. He's not gone. He's just not here right now. I'll have to reach out and see what he's up to. Also, though, I mean, there could be something going on. I haven't talked to him. Um, we had slight exodus from the boat a little while ago, and there's no hard feelings between Ben and I. Oh, look, there he is, right there. But I was thinking to myself, maybe he did leave, but no, of course not. Ben would never leave. Ben's trapped here. He's been assimilated into the Borg. Hopefully, I got some Trekkies out there. Kathy Ann popping in before handling nap time. Husband's still feeling pretty poorly and had to run some medicine over to my mom, who's got a fever. Can't catch a break the last few weeks. Hit that like, please. Yo, Kathy Ann, I'm keeping your family in my thoughts and on my heart. I hope that your hubby feels better, and hopefully that your plate empties up a little bit, because I know you're doing all the things at once these days. Thanks for everything you do, Kathy Ann. We love you. We appreciate you. Tina Marie, when my son was little, his psych took 8 months to make sure he made a complete and correct diagnosis. I appreciated that so much. That's pretty admirable. I mean, my memory of time spans is not necessarily on point, but I'm pretty sure that's not what I went through. I'm pretty sure it was a pretty quick turnaround. Pretty sure it was like a one appointment to decide kind of thing. Ever put a CD in the microwave for 5 seconds? We used to do that with those old AOL junk mail CDs. Makes lightning patterns on the disc. Don't try this at home. All right. That's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts. I would agree. Don't try this at home. Hey Ben, good to see you, man. Missed you. Brianna Miller, you're about 27 and a half minutes late, but that's okay. We accept you as you are. Researching a lot. I know you're a busy man these days, Ben, but it's probably quite fulfilling. I bet you feel pretty grand, but also possibly tired. I would have to imagine you're feeling some mixture of exhaustion and like fulfillment. That would have to be my guess. My birthday is exactly 1 week away, says Candy's Life, and I still have no plans. Well, maybe that's exactly how it's supposed to be, huh? I'm going to make sure to pull that cupcake out for you next week. Um, another 365 around the sun. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. At this point, I feel like we're just getting older, Like, what's there to look forward to now? I guess more years, obviously, right? More time, but it's like my car insurance is about as cheap as it's going to get. I can buy everything that I can buy legally, even though I don't really drink at all. I don't know why I said that like that. Even though I don't drink, it's like not a iffy thing. It's a very certain thing. You got to be careful with your words. Your words are powerful. If I start using that iffy language enough, I'll start thinking that I can drink. 100% believe that. I know. Death warmed over on vid. I'd pay good money to see that, Ben. Today, I definitely plan on learning about. I'll have to scroll up to find it, but there was something said in the chat about expectations that I'm going to journal about because it was so thought provoking. I'm going to get to your question, Melly. I just saw it. Where'd it go? I'm pretty sure it was an Izzy E thing. Yeah, also a Nicola thing. I think I read it from Nicola first. But perfectionism is a trauma response. That right there. I want to journal about that. I bet you I put some pages down today on that, just that right there. And then Millie had a question. Millie asks, were you diagnosed with that prior to ADHD or after? Afterwards, for sure. I was misdiagnosed first with BP, then BPD, before they came to the conclusion it's the TISM and the ADHD. of the opinion, and I've come to the conclusion that these doctors are flying by the seat of their pants, especially with these diseases like the bipolar, the ADHD. Like I mean, and I'm not like talking down to them. I'm not like trying to talk mess or anything. I mean, we're just beginning to understand these things as a society, as people. So I just think that it's unfortunate that these kinds of things happen. Imagine if I had been heavily medicated for the bipolar. Imagine if my mom had taken that and ran with it. I would be a very different human today. Because I mean, I don't want to say obviously I don't need it, but I mean, obviously I'm doing all right, and it seems to be working out. It definitely would have changed the way that I was thinking, moving, acting. Who knows where I would be? It would be very, very different, I'm sure. Kathy says, no such thing as too many eyelashes or too thin. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate you. I definitely could do without them in my eyes, but they do protect my eyeballs from like dirt and stuff. So they're we can be grateful. We can have some gratitude for the eyelashes. How about that? ADHD brains can be erroneously diagnosed as bipolar. It's common, especially for women, to get diagnosed with bipolar before ADHD. Interesting. I'm quite an effeminate man, or I can be, I should say. Y'all probably don't see a whole lot of that here, but you don't spend a whole lot of time with me. We spend about an hour a day. Um, but I think about that kind of stuff a lot. I wonder. Another trauma response, just what I needed. Tell you what, if the world could just stop throwing all these curveballs, that would be sweet. Maybe I could catch one. Giving the topics time to breathe is a great practice, in my opinion, Izzy. I feel like if I don't give certain things time to breathe, that I'm no longer productive with what I do after that. Like I have to let it like marinate and stuff. Otherwise, there's no processing done. Especially like with the extra heavy stuff. If I'm having an emotional response, I probably need to like stop journaling and feel it, and then get back to journaling. That's just me. I don't know if that may be you too, but it's definitely I'm only talking about me. Sharon Dixon says, I find working towards staying in the now helps me keep things realistic. Then I have better, more balanced expectations. Absolutely. Staying in the present moment enables us to also be adaptable, more adaptable, right? If we're not stuck in the future or the past, when the curveballs appear, we can react accordingly. I totally agree with this. Absolutely, Sharon. Thank you for sharing that. Sharon, thank you for sharing. Strength of the world. On my shoulders, I see my veins. I forgot they did gang vocals on this album. Cooking with Grandma says, I always say when approaching an event or relationship, go with no expectations. I'm definitely in agreement with that. Um, no expectations is always the best because then I'm pleasantly surprised at all the joy I find. Look at that. Happy Wednesday, Jimena. Good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. Unavailable on my lunchtime so I can regroup. I love that. Hell yeah. Entrepreneurial Izzy. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, I think I'm closer to caught up. Obviously, I'm closer, but I'm not caught up. I just read the lightning microwave thing again. Strength of the world. is on my shoulder. I love I love that you guys come together and just catch up like old friends. It makes me so happy to see this going on. So happy, I can't even tell you. Kathy Ann, I didn't know that. My I had a friend when I first became homeless and we found ourselves in Colorado. I had a friend, I'm pretty sure his name was Andy. I can't remember. Pretty sure his name was Andy, and he had Asperger's. And I remember me and him had lengthy conversations about the psyche and how like we view the world, and we would have really deep, intelligent conversations. Most likely while we were partying, right? Because that's just what we were up to those days. But he told me some of the most interesting things about Asperger's because he had it, right? So like it was very interesting perspective. He told me like when I read a book, he was talking about me. He was like, when you read a book, when I read a book, I read it like line by line, right? When he looks at the page of a book, he sees everything at once. He sees like the big picture. And it took me a while to understand what he was trying to say there, but when it sunk in, I was like, whoa, that's very interesting. That's like a very different way to view things and stuff and the world, I guess, right? Instead of focusing in on items, he sees everything and has to pick them out. Um, very, very interesting. I have to say, I'm grateful that that's not the way that my brain works. And I don't know if that's the way for all Asperger's, all individuals with Asperger's, but that's definitely how Andy viewed stuff. He would always gather the big picture. That's like how his brain would work, and then he would have to like it would take him a second sometimes. But he was quick. He was sharp. Andy is a. I wonder what he's up to these days. What a guy. What a guy. We used to go hunting in cow pastures. Me and Andy. Izzy E says, as someone who needs the ADHD meds for now, if kiddo gets diagnosed, I'd like her to get to know her brain as I did before considering medication. How old were you when you considered medication, Izzy? I love this idea, this thought, this sentiment, but it does raise questions. I'm curious because I wish that this had been done with me. Who knows? The way my brain worked before is not but a distant memory now. Captain, it's not biological though, it's mostly because of societal expectations. The outward presentation of ADHD has been studied since the 1800s. We are just starting to get the inward symptoms. Interesting. I think that there's so much to learn. There's so much information in the world. We're always going to be a little behind the ball with stuff. There are things that we know nothing about, that exist. So, I mean, I think I'm grateful that we know a thing or two about this. Yeah, as soon as I said that, Shannon, I figured, I bet you no one is going to agree with that. I appreciate you saying that. No one knows the best advice more so than your own two eyes. They say the left eye is the window to the soul. Did you know that? Who are they? I don't know. I don't know who they are. We're not friends, we're family, Spanx. That's right, Candy's Life. We're the boat fam. Boat fam, Lori, Abs. I saw some comments that you left me a while ago, and I didn't respond to them, but I had intended to. I probably shouldn't have said that and just responded to them. But I want you to know, Lori, that I appreciate you immensely. I'm so glad that you showed up today. Um, and thank you for your kind words. Woo, good morning. It is Wednesday. It's hump day, people. We're going to get out there and kick its butt. Um, I guess it's time for the hype man section, right? Yeah, we're halfway through the week. So far, so good, but we're not done yet. We've got another few days to get through. I guess Friday kind of counts, but kind of doesn't. Doesn't really matter, though, because regardless, we're going to get through it with flying colors. Just imagine we're wearing capes and we have superpowers. No, don't do that. But definitely keep your joy about you. Stay grateful. Stay humble. Um, there's always, something unexpected right around the corner. But just know that you can handle it and you are worthy. You deserve the world. Um, and it's not so unattainable to have the life that you want, the life that you dream of. It is just on the other end of the road. It's just down the street from where you're sitting currently. And it's just going to take a little bit of diligence, patience, adaptability, and time. And we're all going to get there. We're all going to get there. We're all going to get there in our own time. Often, perfect timing feels like I'm too late, but it's perfect timing regardless. So, that being said, trust the path, trust the process, keep doing what you're doing, keep up the good work. What do you have to say about that? Dale Cox, what is going on? Good morning, good sir. How was your day yesterday? Just gained myself an extra day. Whoop whoop. Hell yeah. Welcome back from the doc. Hopefully, good news, Dale. Got your second diagnosis at 32, Izzy. First one at 6. I got extra help when I became a parent. The mental load of raising a kid basically on my own was too much to wing it without meds. I remember we had talked about that. Interesting. Did you take meds prior to being 32? You've got a very adventurous right eye, Millie. Come on, come now. It's just very free spirited. Yo, you and me both, No Face. No Face says if this is family, then my cousins are crazy. Yeah, we're a little out there. I got some pretty wild family myself. The under hair is just getting long enough to like really make it look funny. It's almost good. We're almost over the through the woods. Robin Miner says being compassionate, emotionally available, and having long hair does not make you effeminate. Well, heck yeah, Robin. Um, that's pretty sweet. That's good to know. I feel like there are other qualities that I have, but I'm not going to go through any troubles to explain them because, if you don't view me that way, I'll take it. I will totally take it. It's not like a belt to be worn or anything. I was just of the opinion. If you see me in an effeminate light one day, we'll also let that ride. So whatever's clever, pretty easy going. It doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me none. Oh my gosh, guys, I watched Deadpool and Wolverine last night. It was pretty funny, I have to say. I love how it's just a big joke. It's just a big joke. They had an epic fight scene on a shattered Fox logo. Like they were in this like wasteland and like part of like the landscape was like, the Fox Century logo. And it's like boom, you know what I mean? And they got the spotlights. It's like dun, 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 the Fox sign symbol. That thing was like half buried and crumbling, and they had an epic fight like literally on top of it. And did like a shout out. They were like, "Rest in peace, Fox." It was hilarious. I thought it was so funny. I never expect the Deadpool movies to be like really, really funny, even though I mean that's the stigma, right? They always are. I didn't think they could do it a third time, but they definitely did. And the way they handled the whole Wolverine coming back thing, I don't think they could have done it any other way. I'm just now remembering all the stuff that happened in the movie. Scrolling, scrolling. Twice exceptional. It is a big factor in overlooked diagnoses or managing enough to get by with ADHD. I will do that. This seems to be a mathematical term. I was told there would be no math. Oh, this is programming language that I'm reading. I will I will refine that search later. I took a I don't know if I think it was a semester of programming, and that's how I learned. That's not what I want to do for a living. That's what I did all the time. I might become a robot. I did stay for the end credits, and I'm trying to remember what happened right now. Oh yeah, Johnny Storm. I that was probably one of my favorite parts of the movie was Johnny Storm's cameo. All the cameos, great, super great. I wish I knew more about the comics because I feel like all of those characters were legit. I feel like none of them were created. Um, like obviously Cable's real, but Charles Xavier's twin, I guess, is a character that I didn't know about. I don't think they created anything for number three. I think that in the first one, they were joking about their small budget and blah blah blah. They had like the one real X Man. What was it? Colossus. He's real. He's from the comics and whatnot. I remember him. But then the chick, the one that he makes fun of for being like emo and quiet and angsty. I think she was created. I don't think that she's a real like I don't think that she was an X Man before the Deadpool movie. But that being said, in the third one, I think that they got a big budget and brought in like a bunch of sick cameos because there was Johnny Storm, there was a bunch of stuff. Cassandra Nova, yeah, I might as well type that in right now, right? Is she real? Yes, she's real. Holy crap! Look at her, and she's also bald. Imagine that. I guess they're twins, right? So they're both bald. That's silly. Long history of revenge, manipulation, and hate against mutants and humans using various powers and technologies. Okay, thanks, Google. Yeah, Elektra, and then Blade, Wesley Snipes coming back as Blade with the salt and pepper beard. I was like, oh, that was pretty cool. And then he used the rocket launcher. I thought it was just the perfect mix of cheesy comedy and mindless action. I thought it was great. It was super good. I will definitely look that up. Vita, Sunny, I'm into Japan robots. I'm sometimes lonely. I'm also fascinated with Yakuza and the culture. And mysteries are always good, and I like to laugh. So, literally, a bunch of stuff I like. Speaking of that, for some reason, made me think of what's that show on Netflix that each episode is a different style of animation, and they're all like their own one-off short stories. And it's not Black Mirror; it's the animated one. Dang it, I can't remember now. I'm sorry to hear that, Flick. I definitely have some stuff like that, and it takes time to get over it. And I don't know if getting over it is tied to processing through the emotional trauma from the relationship, but it may be. I definitely was not able to do a whole lot of watching One Piece until I um, got through, or Adventure Time for that matter, until I got processed through my stuff with Lucy. And One Piece, not because we watched it together, but because I would watch it every morning when we first got together, and then she would complain about it while we were having breakfast. And it was like a clockwork thing, like every day. And then to the point where I stopped watching it entirely. Um, but then we traded that for Adventure Time because that's what she wanted to watch, and I like Adventure Time. It's hilarious. It's great. It's fun. Um, but then I couldn't watch that either after we parted ways. I can now, thankfully. So there's Faith. Sorry about that, Brianna. I just went through all them spoilers. Nothing really important, just cameos, I guess. Oh, I feel bad. I drove her off, guys. Death and Robots. That's what it's called. Yeah, don't. Yeah, definitely don't take your little to go see Deadpool Wolverine. It's quite foul. Hey, Debbie P. Good luck at your doctor's appointment. Hit that like, subscribe, and the bell for notifications if you like what we do here, because it certainly makes a difference, folks. It certainly makes a difference. Yo, you know what I just remembered? It's the 28th today. I realized this morning that I cruised right through, what is that, 18 months? A year and a half is 18 months, right? I cruised right through my 18-month birthday and didn't even realize it. It was 4 days ago. I officially have 18 months clean and sober. Thank you, thank you. Yes, I know, I know. No, I'm proud, but I think it's important that I stay humble and whatnot. I have a lot more days to come, um, but I'm stoked to be 18 months. I have to say, I'm definitely stoked to be 18 months clean. Almost the longest time I've ever been sober. If we get past, I mean, if when we get past the 2 years, this is bugging the crap out of me. When we get past the 2 years, that will be fresh ground. I started backtracking after the 2 year mark last time. He can hang out. I'm not gonna. I feel like I'm tooting my own horn if I pull it out for myself. So I appreciate you guys, though. You guys can give me the Molesky. Shout out to Steve. He's probably making time machines in some alternate dimension now. Or maybe he's just, in a sea of clouds lounging it. Who knows? Who knows? Nobody knows. Yeah, missing a milestone like it wasn't even like that important. I'm just living my life. That's a great point. That is such a great point. I'm so busy loving and enjoying my life that I forgot that it was my birthday. That's totally fine with me, dude. I'm into it. I will take that perspective all day long. You see what Tina Marie did just there? She flipped the script. She took one perspective and kind of fiddled with it so that it looked different. And that's one of the tools that we use on this road to recovery, especially in situations that look a little dire or look a little lonely or look a little down and depressing. When we wake up and we're not feeling too hot, if we can work a little magic just like Tina just did, flip the script on it, just change the way that we describe it to ourselves and starting to look a little different, right? And helps us get through the day, helps us get through the situation, the event, whatever, what have you. As someone who's counting full sobriety in hours currently, I'll shout it from the rooftops. Every sober hour counts. Absolutely. Absolutely. Incarnasol. The thing with tooting my own horn mocked is I can definitely let it get out of hand. I am a big fan of my own horn, and this is something I know about me, so I try to just like toot it and put it away. Just toot it real quick, put it away. I wanted to say something else there. It was completely inappropriate. Have a great day, Dale. I think that we're getting real close to tincture time, dude. I have my appointment on Friday, and they're not doing any extractions. It's just going to be some filling stuff. So I think either this weekend or next week we can get back on track with the tank, dude. So I look forward to it. Just yeah, yeah, yeah. I am a big fan of my own horn. Yeah. I didn't think about that until you said that, Izzy. I hear that they've already had their way with me and done all that. I chose not to go look, so there's like some things you can't unsee, and for all I know, it's hilarious, and I would love watching it, but I don't want to like think about those things while I'm in the middle of doing my show. So I probably will never see. I probably will never go look, but it is quite flattering to know that there's like an entire Reddit thread dedicated to making fun of you. You know, like that's quite charming. You know what I mean? I That's cool. I'm definitely not going to go look. It would be cool to be able to go look. I would really like to go look, but I'm just not going to because I won't be able to unsee any of it. And, as much as I'd like to tell you I'm not insecure, I definitely have insecurities. As much as I'd like to tell you I'm a stalwart fortress and nothing's getting through me, it's not true. I have my weaknesses too. So I'm only human. 6 years for alcohol. Good Lord, Izzy. My mother told me that quitting cigarettes was harder than quitting heroin. So um, I would have to agree with her. I'd have to take her word for it. Yeah, not knowing's a good thing, Flick. That's for sure. Haters gonna hate. That's right. We're doing our own thing over here. It doesn't even matter what they're doing. Magic of Healing Jimena. I haven't smoked in 10 months. Wow. Wow. I bet you it smells gross again. It smells like the first time you smelled a cigarette, like before you ever smoked. I don't know if anyone in here has experienced that, but cigarettes smelled gross to me, and then I became a smoker, and then it became an attractive smell, and then I quit for a period of time, and the smell went back to that gross smell from when I was a kid, and my parents would smoke in the car or whatever the case, right? It went back to the old way, and it was a very interesting experience to experience that way. Is constantly smelling heroin what happens when you detox and quit? Oh, I bet, Jimena. I bet your entire being is just glowing. I'll never forget the smell of heroin, I tell you what. It's written on my brain. In fact, when Jake and I first met, it smelled like heroin in his bathroom, and I told him, I was like, yo, why does it smell like dope in your bathroom? He was like, what? I was like, go in there right now and tell me it doesn't smell like fucking dope. And pardon my language. And turns out the other roommate, I mean, who knows? Maybe it was him too. They ended up both getting into it together. We were living different lives when we first met, but I'm very proud of him. I probably shouldn't talk about his business, but that was an interaction that we had when we first met. Um, but that also sparked a ton of getting to know each other about our pasts, our histories, and our presents. I feel like I've heard this before as well, Millie. Millie says, isn't smell supposed to be the most memory invoking sense? I feel like I've heard that before as well. Lol, you're funny, Izzy. That's so funny. I still to this day smell cocaine and I hate it. I hate it. One day it'll go away. Oh, yes, mocked. Yes. No, I mean, in contrast to tobacco, says mocked, which you smell everywhere. You don't smell heroin as frequently. Absolutely. You do smell heroin in the darndest places sometimes, I have to say. I smelled fentanyl for the first time walking down the street with my cousin a while back, right after the 4th. Maybe it was on the 4th. That was an interesting experience. Needless to say, there was some people on the side of the sidewalk camped out doing their thing. That's why we smelled it. Yeah, I was just thinking about that, Izzy. There is use and then there's abuse, right? And I'm sure that there's something there's probably a line to be drawn somewhere in between those two things, right? And it's not, my ceremony culture, right? So like, just thoughts deferring to you, but I bet you can draw a line between use and abuse. If I'm smoking a cigarette 20 times a day, there's no reverence. And I think that along that thought process, we can find the answer as well. That being said, I think I'm going to get out of here. It's time for me to have real breakfast. I'm moving in the right direction, but I'm still not where I want to be as far as my morning routine. So, that being said, I think it's important that I go eat some food right now. Hit that like, subscribe, and the bell for notifications if you like what we do here. It certainly makes a difference. And again, I want to thank every single one of you for being here. Mrs. G, I see you. Thank you very much. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, I'm glad y'all showed up, hung out with me. It was a good time. Hopefully, we all learned something. I know that I did. I have to. My phone is listening to me. Shut up. Shut up. I'm going to be journaling about trauma responses, and I might have to go up and read it again. Anyways, I definitely will be doing some learning and some working after this one. Dirty Mouse, good to see you. Replay crew for you. No, I'm glad you made it. Hi and bye. Good to see you, Dirty Mouse. I hope you have a great day. And yeah, on that note, catch the Admiral this evening. I'm sure his internet will be working. Well, I'm not sure. Hopefully it will be. And I'll see you all tomorrow morning. And also, feel free to email me at sober@myyahoo.com, as well as hit me in the comment section. Shannon Smith, if you're still here, I'm going to go look for your email and get with you, see what's going on. Yeah, much love, everyone. Captain Calhoun, out. Out! Captain out!